What up, family? Get a new Sporty Man Dash 20 Maryland Lee. Today is Moon Monday in my city, Chicago, or a magnificent Monday, October the 3rd, 2022. All right, let's talk about writers and news reporters and the media, but more so um, the people who accuse other people for some wrongdoing or set them up just so they could get popular or put their face on the news or in the newspaper. I myself, allegedly, my foster mother Betty Jean Redmond told me that they put me in the Chicago Sun-Times newspaper at the age of 6 in 1973. Somebody has that article. I could have asked her for it in my 20s, but I wanted someone to, do the research. If you really believe in your girl, which is me, Mary Lee, your ghetto news reporter and originator of rap music since the age of 8 in 1975. I just became your ghetto news reporter roughly about 10 to 15 years ago, I would like to say, when I posted my first ever YouTube video, Mary Mack versus the Fat Black Oprah Winfrey, November of 2007. And this year being 2022. Um, there was this guy by the name of John. He was a white guy. I was going through some stuff in 1995, and I gave Oprah Winfrey my, story again, me being a child abuse victim and, was still going through whatever I was going through because of that. And I gave her, my voice to the sound of music on 3 cassette tapes, front and back, in the Martin Luther King I Have a Dream speech. Now, at the time, I was 28 years old. I didn't realize Oprah was almost half a billionaire. That's almost $500 million. Now, had I known, I would have never said, with tears in my eyes and crying on cassette tapes and basically bearing my soul, you understand what I'm saying? I would have never said, you know, just give me $2 million tax free and the rest could go to charity. Had I known how much I really was worth. See, I was under pressure going through a whole lot of stuff. I had just, uh, gave up a business venture or whatever and stuff, temporarily, because I was selling general merchandise, music, this, that, and the third, helping everybody out. The world was on my shoulder. I was doing a lot of it by myself, and I really never had no one really in my corner. I had my 4 nieces who I was trying to elevate and make them entrepreneurs by showing them the ways that I made money honestly, and just in case they got into a domestic dispute with their husbands, boyfriend, baby daddies, or whatever the case may be, they could know how to, fend for themselves. That's why I was trying to do for them, because when I went to stay with them and my oldest sister, 7547 South Walcott in my city, Chicago, Linda Nelson being my oldest sisters and my niece's mother, I went to stay with them at the age of 17 in 1984 after leaving um, Vision Quest, a camp program, which was military style. It was rough, I ain't gonna lie, for teenagers. And, I became the first girl head teamster of the program. So, I'm kind of, a tough gal, but I ain't trying to be, it's just I've been having to defend myself for so long. It's in my bloodline and DNA, I guess. But yeah, I went to stay with my older sister, Linda, and she told me, I heard you was a lesbian or whatever. I didn't know what to call it. I just didn't like guys because I had got raped by 5 guys. And, when I really think about it, I wonder if it was a girl or a lady that told them to do it. Once I start thinking over my life, I noticed that ladies are more of a problem than, I try to not admit. You understand what I'm saying? Because me being a lady, I just wouldn't, fathom a lady, you know, giving guys permission to rape a little girl. But, we live in a sinister world, so I don't put nothing past, these girls. Like Will Smith said, girls of the world ain't nothing but trouble. And you got to know he's in a lot of trouble because what? Jada just gave him a look and he snapped on Chris Rock. So that's proof positive that I know what I'm talking about. Long story short, my oldest sister, Linda Nelson, when I went to live with her, said, in 1984, she said, I heard you're a lesbian. I have 4 daughters, and I don't want you messing with them. I said, oh, I didn't know how to take all that because, I wasn't even thinking about it, and but they was programming me from a child to be sexually active and things of that nature and stuff. And by the time I left the program, I had like 2 relationships, is that what you want to call it and stuff. It was just a little fling or whatever and stuff, but and I was missing, I guess, the people I was close to. And so they programmed it right on time or whatever. So I was like, no problem, okay. But long story short, later on, my sister Linda Nelson, she had a boyfriend by the name of Terry, and he blacked her eye. And I climbed out the window and got the police, and she said everything was okay. Now, she just told me, not too long ago, I was only with him for about 6 months in 1984. And she was like, you know, so adamant about me messing with her daughters or whatever and stuff. And, me allegedly being family, right? And this guy not even family. And she allowed her daughters to see, her black eye or whatever and stuff. And, she didn't even have Cherry arrested. I was like, that's interesting. But she probably would have killed me if I would have gave her daughters a hug. You understand what I'm saying? You see where this is going? And I'm the auntie, right? Long story short, the next day Terry came at me like, he wanted to black my eye. I said, I'm not my sister. I'll cut your fucking throat and shit. So many words and stuff. And so, he left me alone. I thought that was the end of that. I went to job court trying to get away from chaos and confusion because I felt like, the little time I was there was just too much going on and stuff. And I said all that to say this. Neil Steinberg wrote an article on this day, October the 3rd, in 2013, I would like to say it was. I was staying 915 West Wilson, apartment 409 in Uptown in my city, Chicago. And I went to the store and I seen a Chicago Sun-Times newspaper with Oprah on the front of it. She was in a pink, dress or whatever the case, outfit. And, it says Oprah's Long Goodbye, and it was by Neil Steinberg, a Jewish writer. And white guy, and he was, talking real trash and stuff, and I had put the newspaper, in my room, and when I went back, it was gone. So, I just looked on Google or whatever, and I was able to get part of it, but the rest of it, I wasn't able to get. But I do have it in my, the article in my possession. I just don't feel like looking for it because, he talked about Oprah like a dog, and he's a Gemini. Okay, I'm a Gemini. Okay, born May 25th, 1967. Oprah's Aquarius. My ex-girlfriend, LaWanda Joy Jacobs, is Taurus. And, he's a Gemini, the writer. Now, after I went through what I went through in 1995, they put me in some little hotel downtown in my city, Chicago, called the Whacker. It was called the Whacker Hotel. We used to call it the Cracker Hotel because everybody in there was smoking crack pretty much. You understand what I'm saying? And that's where I got introduced to drugs and stuff because I was going through a whole lot after I gave Oprah my story, and she basically shitted on me and used it and, threw me to the wolves and stuff. Okay, that's the truth. You understand? And I was feeling some kind of way, and, I wasn't using drugs when I went to the psych ward. I wasn't drinking drugs, smoking no fornicating like I am not right now. You understand what I'm saying? Real talk. But, I was real depressed, and I didn't know how to handle the situation. And the environment was just, it was deadly. You know what I'm saying? For real, it was like everybody in there was doing something to die. You understand? But I ended up getting up out that situation. But I met a guy. He was a news reporter. His name was John. And somehow or another, John and I, got to know each other a little bit because he used to give me money to run and get his drugs or whatever and stuff. This is the honest guy's truth. I'm telling you the truth. Now, I guess he thought he and I was gonna do something. He was a white guy or whatever, Nothing happened other than, me going to get I was a runner to get his drugs or whatever. And that only lasted a little while because, you know, I wasn't good at none of that. You understand, for real. So I ended up crying out for help and going into AA, understand what I'm saying, real talk. And in 1996. And, John popped up at my AA meeting, out of all the AA meetings in the world. He popped up, at mine on Greenleaf and Clark. And Oprah Winfrey got a show called Greenleaf. Okay. Now this put the pieces together. Now, Neil Steinberg, as much as I want to go in on him because of that article he wrote about Oprah, I can't even do it. At first I was mad because he was going real hard. You understand what I'm saying? But then I Googled him and I said, man, he went to jail for domestic violence. He hit his wife, for the first time. Now, I had hit my ex-girlfriend, LaWanda Joy Jacobs, for the first time. You understand what I'm saying? Because she was provoking me and I was at my wit's end with her, trying to help her. You understand what I'm saying? She had trolled me for 6 months when I met her in 1993. And, it's no excuse, but I believe the spirit made me do it. You understand what I'm saying? You could tell when people are trying to, put that demonic spirit on you and stuff. And I had taken her in and out of AA with me, and she never gave her story. She was just sucking up all the game and stuff. And she told me back in the day she met Oprah Winfrey, and Oprah complimented her on her coat. So, birds of a feather flock together. Now, I've been trying to meet Oprah forever and stuff, and here she is. She met her, and, she was real secretive, my ex-girlfriend, LaWanda Joy Jacobs, who was also, an insurance agent for Blue Cross Blue Shields and a Jehovah's Witness. So I felt as though she was supposed to, be a little more vocal after about 15 years of us dating and stuff. So as a result, yeah, I hit her, but she didn't go get the police or nothing and stuff, but I noticed that the police, after I gave her my book, Rhymes, Poems, and Metaphors Plus One Song, my ex-girlfriend, LaWanda Joy Jacobs, I was driving her truck, she had finally came up, I guess, and stuff, and, she was trying to transition out the relationship that we was in, because she never moved in and she wasn't talking about moving in. She knew I cared a lot about her and stuff, and then I put my best foot forward like I always do with anything. And by this time, I was, over 10 years sober, so I was like, what is wrong with this girl? You understand what I'm saying? But she had a bigger plot in mind. Basically, is what I'm trying to get you to understand. You see, you got a lot of girls, just like Joseph, he wanted to, he was cleaning up or whatever in the Bible. You understand? Some Jezebel, wanted to come on to him and stuff, and he resisted, and, he came up out his coat, and, she told her husband that Joseph had, taken advantage of her. So you got a lot of guys and gals, people of importance, money, you understand? Look at what they did to R. Kelly. You understand what I'm saying? Real talk. Who get caught up because people be playing games and stuff, for real. You understand what I'm saying? And their intentions were never, for you per se. They always had a plot in mind. So I felt like, everybody, a lot of people, and Oprah being the main influencer, you understand what I'm saying, influenced a lot of people. That's like in this trap at Act 6210 South Kenbark Avenue, Chicago, Illinois, 60637. They was dying when I got here. Now they got cars, and I still believe she got that, effect on her, the people around me or whatever, because she was like, you get a car, you get a car. And the fact that she went off the air on my birthday talking about Oprah Winfrey, which is May 25th, but in 2011, that's like really provoking. You understand what I'm saying? So, I used to watch people get caught up thinking they finna get a date when actually it was a prostitute, and then the police swarm in or whatever. And so just talking. I got fired on my birthday working at a job, for real. You understand what I'm saying? Real talk. Because I was having a lunch. It wasn't even a date. It was just, how you have lunch with a girl and she was cute. And how you be just talking or whatever. Next thing you know, they called me in the office and said, you're fired. So these are the type of people I'm dealing with. So I said all that to say, today is the day that Neil Steinberg wrote that article. He did go to jail for a day. because he struck his wife. I don't believe he should have done it, but I believe, you know, she probably was provoking him. I hate to say it and stuff. You understand what I'm saying? Because I am a lady who has been violated by 5 guys. And then they made a whole restaurant, you know, called 5 Guys and stuff. So it's hard for me to say this without, you know, feeling some kind of way. And that's why I was trying to get the guys to stand up, because I know it's got to be a girl behind this, a lady or somebody. You understand what I'm saying? You know, hey, I'm just giving you the truth. Look, Oprah could have ended this a long time ago. You understand what I'm saying? Real talk. Somebody has it in for me. I got beat up on the west side of Chicago. You understand what I'm saying? In 2011 on February the 10th during Black History Month. And, you know, the next day, allegedly, they said Whitney Houston died. You understand? And Oprah, of course, did a show before she went off before Whitney allegedly died or tapped out or whatever the case may be. And then of course, she tried to blame Bobby Brown for everything, you know, but you got to remember, she tapped Bobby Brown on the shoulder. You understand what I'm saying? You see where this is going? So they do things and then they, you know, cry wolf or whatever and stuff. And that's why I tell people, you can't keep killing people that's trying to save you. Talking to the girls and stuff, whatever you may have gone through, you can't just keep putting them problems off on people that's trying to help you, whether you're a girl, a guy, whoever the case may be. Because it seems like the nice ones always catch all the fucking wrath and stuff. I remember I was in a Department of Correction, and I had this girl by the name of Gail Young, and she and I call ourselves going together or whatever and stuff, just writing letters back and forth or whatever and stuff. And she said, you're too nice, for real. This is what she said. You're too nice, you let me do whatever and stuff. She would just, be flirting or whatever and stuff. I pay no attention or whatever. She said my other, relationships or guys or whoever, would have hit me. So, in my mind, I'm young, I'm about 15 going on 16. Next time she did something, I gave her what she wanted. I hit her. But of course, that was a pattern. They was trying to, make it seem as though I'm, a violent person when in all actuality, I'm the victim. I just so happen to look like, a person that would snap, crack, and pop, but only in defense. You understand what I'm saying? Real talk. So you got a lot of people that provoke you and stuff, Even the devil try to tempt, Jesus to jump off the mountain and all that. You understand what I'm saying? So just, if you know me for real, I'm not saying I'm a saint. I'm not saying I'm a sinner either. You understand? I'm just saying, we all fall short. You understand? And ye without sin cast the first stone. So there's no big eyes, little U's, like they say in Alcoholics Anonymous. And for the ones who, I keep buying into this, Oprah effect or whatever, and trying to keep up, alive or whatever and stuff, resonate, kind of keep that spirit going, that demonic, Look, y'all know y'all can push people buttons for real. That's what they called it back in the day. Pushing buttons and stuff. Mind games and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And, I can walk away from a whole lot of stuff, but I can't walk away from my rap legacy and, the fact that Oprah made a killing off of me. And if it wasn't for me, she would have never became a billionaire, and a whole lot of other people. You understand what I'm saying? I am the originator of rap music. I don't drink, drugs, smoke, or fornicate. If I was to, get railroaded again like I did on Mother's Day of 2016 while homeless and staying at an AA meeting, because basically I was staying at an AA meeting, the mustard seed, because I was there a lot. You understand what I'm saying? Because when you're homeless, ain't got nowhere to go, you got to go where the people railroaded you and stuff, and they didn't want that look or whatever. 19 years of sobriety had me sleeping on the 1st District Police Station floor because I said my name is Mary Lee Davis. I guess they thought I was going to be, lying to them or something, you know what I'm saying? And somebody didn't like the fact that I was coherent and sober, but homeless, because they made me homeless May 31st, 2008, and said I disarmed a police officer on Devon Clark, something I did not do. You understand? After I did all that service work in Rogers Park, getting people sober, getting their families together and stuff, basically helping them to kill me. And in 2016, that's exactly what they tried to do to me on the psych ward at the Cook County Jail with 19 years of sobriety. They stuck me with drugs that were cancerous. And, that's why my hair is low today. You understand what I'm saying? Real tough. Long story short, they thought that was going to get me back out there, understand what I'm saying? Because that's what happened in 1995. I had stopped doing drugs or whatever with my ex-girlfriend, Donna Marie Evans, Italian stallion, banker, real estate agent, the one that stole my writings and pretty much distributed them all around the world and didn't give me nothing for it. Yeah. And, as a result, in 1995, that's how I ended up doing crack cocaine or whatever and stuff for about 6 months. But after 6 months, I knew I couldn't do it because for $5, I would have killed my ex-girlfriend, Luana Joy Jacobs, real talk, had she not gave me that $5. So there's people out here, basically, you have to be careful because Neil Steinberg allegedly was drunk when he hit his ex-girlfriend. You understand what I'm saying? So, you can't play with these drugs and drug addicts and alcoholics and stuff. You understand what I'm saying? So with that said, what a terrible weave we web. You understand that? And they find them all day on the internet. And that's why everywhere I go, trouble follows me. You understand what I'm saying? Because of my first ever YouTube video, Mary Mack versus the fat black Oprah Winfrey. You understand? I lost everything because 9 times out of 10, she's an alcoholic, an addict, or whatever the case may be. And she's in a denial. You understand what I'm saying? And because she has money and influence, it's that much harder for her to admit that she's wrong. But she's going to have to. And along with my ex-girlfriend, Luana Joy Jacobs. And she know I know. For real. Now, with that said, you know what I do? I break the crown. This for all the writers and reporters out there and stuff. Don't give up on me. Find that article of me when I was 6 years old in 1973 for standing up for myself like I'm doing now and for you as well. Because I'm going to need some witnesses. You understand? I ain't the only one. So I'm not the only one that's been victimized by the real bullies with money, power, and influence. But I am number one. You understand what I'm saying? When it comes to telling this real truth. You understand? I am your ghetto news reporter. And only the truth will make and set you free. And that's why I'm free today. And they still trying to, lock me up. They tried to get me last week and stuff. For real. Step your game up. This is 2 Kings chapter 2 and 3 on my mama. It's on page 364 and 365. 65, 66, 67, 68 over here. 64, 65, 67. I was born May 25th, 1967. If I flip it, I'm number one. Commonly called the 4th book of the Kings. So for my nieces out there, step your game up. I was only trying to help you in case of emergency. You understand what I'm saying? You never know who will save you. So, can't keep trying. It's on you, baby. And with that, this is your good news reporter, Mary Dash, from the Mary Lee. Domestic violence is real. If you got to scream, holler, whatever you got to do, make it do what it do, even if it's the police. Because I wasn't going to let them catch me, for real, for something I know I hadn't done. Because if I would have went in, I knew I wasn't going to come out. And that's the honest God's truth. Hope y'all got my back, Mary Mack and Myers, because whatever they do to me, they will do to you. And that's the truth. Peace.